We're just hours away from the National Super Sedan title starting here at Valvoline Raceway, and we have with us the defending champion on Speedway Sedans Live, Darren Kane. Welcome to the coverage, Darren.
Thanks, Jason. Pleasure to be here.
We're talking off air. You haven't been beaten here for 3 years, but the national title comes around, it's all on the line.
Yeah, it's I was only saying before about Australian titles, like you just got to prepare as much as you can, and I treat the Australian title as just a normal race, and a lot of people probably say that, they all say that, but that's how I've always been. And if you get everything right and be there at the end of the race, you got a chance of winning it.
The track here has changed a little bit over the years. We've now got an inside retaining wall. It appears to be a little bit narrower than it was before and a bit more banking. Would that be true?
Yeah, I think the banking's not quite. They got more banking, but it sort of doesn't come out as far. But the track will, by the time we get to the feature, widen up, and you just need to be up near the top 4 or 5, and then anything can happen.
Calibre of cars again this weekend, as we say every year. All the top competitors are here at the national title. They're never easy to win.
Nah, definitely not. Many Australian titles I probably could have won, and a lot of guys will say the same thing, and it just doesn't fall your way. And like if it's your time, it's your time.
Do you remember the first one you won in 2004? That's 14 years ago.
Yep, I remember. I think it was 2000 at Hobart. I was like one lane track on pole and leading the race, and unlosable race. And I lost the Australian title to Ron Pine. Got second, like a lap car come together with me, and I can remember after that race, I thought I'll never ever win an Australian title. And then the one obviously in 2004, and in my own deal, and then with the botches 2009 and the last one. But they're very hard to win, and they just don't roll like you think they're going to.
The first one obviously was very satisfying. Last year's, would that also be satisfying for you because you didn't start at the front? You had to actually make your way through the field, and from my vantage point, it was a really exciting race.
Yeah, and I look back on that race, and that's how I'm going to approach this week. Like I put no pressure on myself. I just thought I got a really fast car. You just give it everything, and it'll take control of itself, and that's what we did, and we ended up winning the race. So it sort of taught me a lot about how you got to approach it.
You've been in this game for quite a while now. Your first title was way back in 1991, a Tasmanian title. So it's 27 years later, you're still at the top of your game.
Yeah, and it's so hard to stay at that top level for so many years, and the sport's changed so much. Technology and the way you approach the racing, and the tracks are all different, and surfaces are obviously a lot different. But you've got to get all those basic things right, and if you've got that right, you've got half a chance all the time.
Now, focusing on tonight, your first heat race, you've got a couple of tough challenges ahead of you, and then heat 11, I think it's already been dubbed the heat of death. There's about 6 or 7 of the top drivers in Australia all in the one race.
I actually didn't. I looked at the draws, but I don't look at who's in my heats, and I seen the draws come through, and I thought, oh man, I got terrible draws. And then I looked at everybody else, and theirs were terrible too. So I thought, but what they call my front row, I made a grid 3. So, but I must have drew like a mid, which draws me around the mid all the time. But I never worry about the grid draws so much, because I think if your car's fast enough and you're positive enough, you can still get through and win the race.
Is there a secret to going fast around here? Is there a particular way you actually have to approach the corners different to any other track?
You've got to be able to run the cush really good here, but to do that, you've got to keep the car pretty free, and then you're a bit open on the bottom. So when we come down here in October, we won. There's a 3,000 to win show, and I ran the bottom, which I'm not normally a bottom runner, and I went a really, really felt good. So it'll be just where you start in the feature, and obviously if you start on pole, you can use the bottom a lot more. But if you're starting back, or you need to get the top work, and there'll be a lot of lap traffic, and there's a lot of good drivers in our class, and I think we'll put on a pretty spectacular race.
Best of luck.
Yeah, thanks, mate. I'm just going to have a lot of fun.
There we are, Speedway Sedans Live with Darren Kane. We'll have more throughout the afternoon.